Good morning. This week's devotion is More Than We Imagine. Now, this coming Sunday is Trinity Sunday, where we think about the awesomeness of our triune God, the mystery of God in three persons Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, or if you prefer, Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Now, our human minds aren't capable of understanding God. When Jesus was trying to help us understand, he used parables to show what God is like. And none of them were quite able to describe the awesomeness completely, but they gave us a hint, a small idea of the person of God. It's the same with trying to understand the triune nature of God. So today, I'm going to share with you all of the analogies for God in one God in three persons that I have been able to find, going from the most ridiculous to the more traditional. And then finally, I'm going to end with the psalm for this week. Now, the first image I'm going to give you, I just saw for the first time today on social media, and it is beyond ridiculous. In the middle, there's a picture of the Kool-Aid man. You know, the kids would scream, "Hey, Kool-Aid!" and he would burst through the walls when the children called. So we're going to imagine that God is like the Kool-Aid man. Sometimes you know him as ice. Sometimes you know him as the Kool-Aid. And sometimes you know him as the pitcher. But all three are part of the same Kool-Aid man. Okay, now going from ridiculous to really nerdy, I'm going to use the image of the Incredible Hulk for God, which is oddly enough more theologically accurate. Sometimes the Hulk is the green Hulk that we know from the movies. But sometimes in the comic books, he turned into the gray Hulk. And sometimes when he's calm enough, he is just Bruce Banner. He is three very different persons, but all still the same being. Now, on to more traditional analogies. One of my favorites is H2O. Now, when H2O is below freezing, we know H2O as ice. Now, when you find it at room temperature, we know H2O as water. And then when you heat it up, we know H2O as steam. They seem on the surface to be very different substances, but all three are always H2O. Now, the next one I'm using for my children's sermon this week only because it's one of the three we rotate through and it's this one's turn. But I actually think it's the weakest of the descriptions. I use myself as an analogy. I am a daughter. I am also a wife. And I am also a mother. Now, each of these may seem like very different people or very different roles, so to speak. But they're all still me. They're all still the same person. So you could know me in three different ways. Now, the last one is actually my favorite, and it is attributed to St. Patrick. It's the shamrock analogy. When you look at a shamrock, it looks like it's made up of three individual different leaves. But actually, a shamrock is one leaf with three distinct parts. So, our God is one God that we know in three ways: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But none of the analogies that I used today even come close to the awesomeness that is our triune God. Or as the hymn Holy, Holy, Holy puts it, God in three persons, blessed Trinity. But the psalm for this week also tries to catch the amazing awesomeness of God. So I'm going to end with that. Listen to Psalm 29. Ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings, ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory of his name. Worship the Lord in holy splendor. The voice of the Lord thunders, the voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord over mighty waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon skip like a calf and Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord flashes forth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord causes the oaks to whirl and strips the forest bare. And in his temple all say glory. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as king forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. Have a blessed week.